Arsenal now with obviously dropping points, we'll be looking over the shoulder and seeing the way City are playing. Coming to the Premier League, he's been probably the sign of the season. I think he's been brilliant. I know what Carragher's saying, but we're not seeing goalkeepers having 100 touches of the ball a game.
Do you know what? Pep looks so unprofessional on the sidelines.
Oh, with this hoodie.
Yeah, like he just wears the CP clothing, like hoodie or whatever, and you're like, bro, just like, come on, man, at least just make a bit of an effort, innit?
I think when you've won what he's won, though, you can wear what you want, can't you? No, I agree. I do agree with you.
I like when a manager wears a suit and tie. Do you know what I mean? And you're like,
yeah,
like,
them days are gone now, though.
What do you think of managers wearing suits? And
you're on a clothes hype today, because as Wayne walked into the room, he didn't have his headphones on, and straight away you were coming for his clothes, asking if he was wearing a jumpsuit.
I said it looks good on him. To be fair,
no, you described him as wearing a jumpsuit.
You had one. Yeah, you said you had one similar to it.
Wouldn't be the first time for one.
You hear him? Wouldn't be the first time. That's true.
Yeah. Okay, should we talk football, guys?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's start with City and Liverpool. What did you make of it, Wayne?
Yeah, I thought City were really good, efficient, energy, intensity. Liverpool really struggled to deal with that. Doku was incredible. Thought it was tough for Conor Bradley, I think, for coming off the performance against Real Madrid, and then Doku was causing them big problems, and I fell for him a little bit because I don't think he got much help. I don't think Mo Salah gave him that much protection in front of him. Gravenberg then was having to cover and do a lot of work to try and help him out. But Doku on his day, when he's like that, can cause everyone problems. So City fully deserved the win, I thought.
Those goals were amazing. That Doku goal was incredible, man. Like, it's sometimes that's what you just want to see in a football match. You just want someone to just go, hey, give it here, let me smack it.
Yeah, no, it was a great goal, I think. I think you could say with Doku, he's unpredictable in it, so sometimes he has too many touches, but I thought today his decision making was really good as well, and his goal, he cut inside top corner. I think Liverpool could have tried to get out and try and stop it, get more pressure on the ball, but fantastic finish. What did you think on the offside goal, Van Dijk?
It's a hard one, isn't it? Because from my perspective, anytime Liverpool get a decision going against them, it's the correct one way.
I thought it's a goal. I think I get the rules and what the rules say, but I think Donnarumma can see it the whole way, and he makes a decision and to go for the ball and gets nowhere near it. So I don't think Robertson is standing in front of the keeper. I know he's close to him, but I think it doesn't impact Donnarumma. He sees the ball all the way. He does a full dive for it, and gets nowhere near it, so I thought that should have stood.
Let me just throw in what the Premier League Match Centre said. This is the reason that it was disallowed goal. The referee's call of offside and no goal to Liverpool was checked and confirmed by VAR, with Robertson in an offside position and deemed to be making an obvious action directly in front of the goalkeeper. What do you make of that, Kay?
Do you know what? What obvious action was he making?
He ducked, didn't he? But he's not in the eye line of the goalkeeper, so he's not affecting Donnarumma's decision to. I get it if he's in front of Donnarumma, and then he's having an impact. Of course he is, but he's a bit to the side of him, and Donnarumma can see the ball the whole way, and he ducks out the way of the ball. So I just think, I get it's the rules, but Donnarumma is weight on his right foot, and then he's tried to shift quick and dive. So he hasn't waited for Robertson to make the decision, then dive after he's dived before he's done the movement. So I think it should have stood me.
Virgil van Dijk has just spoken. We're kind of getting these live in as we're recording, and he said it doesn't matter what I say about the goal, because anything I say will be in the media. Here we are. And the whole international break will be my comments on the decision. I just focus on the fact we lost. You guys can debate if it should have stood, which is exactly what we're doing. But on to Liverpool's performance overall, Wayne, particularly in the first half. When they'd come off such an impressive result in midweek against Real Madrid, did it surprise you at all?
A little bit, but I think Man City are on a really good run of form, and they're on fire at the minute, and City can do that and make it really difficult for you to get near the ball, and they move the ball quick and with a good tempo. So, but Liverpool, they looked a bit tired. I think I don't know whether that's off the back of the Madrid game. They looked a bit leggy, couldn't really get to the ball, didn't press well. didn't run back well. I think when City got beyond their attacking players, I don't think they got back into position and helped the defence. And when you're playing the best teams, you need every player, getting back into the shape and making it as difficult as you can, because City can punish you like they did. But yeah, a little bit surprised. I thought he would have got confidence from that Madrid game, and but in the Premier League this season they've struggled, and I think it's their 5 defeats now, and they're in 8th place at the minute. So they're finding it tough to try and retain the title.
Why do you think they're doing better in Europe as opposed to the league? What do you think it is about Europe that's a bit easier for them?
I don't know. Maybe as I talk about the tempo and intensity, the Premier League is probably a little bit higher than it is in the rest of Europe. So maybe that's a factor. But again, when they've won the last few games, Liverpool, and so you'd expect a bit more from them today. But yeah, I don't know. City are a good team, aren't they? And Haaland's on fire. Doku was on fire today. So I just think you've got to praise City more than I've got Liverpool today.
Yeah, you've got to praise City, Wayne, but these kind of games are normally a lot tighter, aren't they? We don't really see, in recent years, the games between City and Liverpool are normally more hotly contested. Is it just a reflection of where Liverpool are at? What do you think it comes down to?
Yeah, confidence, which you thought would have been high after Madrid, after the Madrid game, and yeah, I think that the Van Dijk goal getting disallowed was a big moment in the game. I think because if that's given, Liverpool, even though they didn't play that well, get back to 1-1 just before half time, and it could be a different outcome. But that's not given. Then it's to get the second goal. And then it's very difficult. I don't think I felt Liverpool were going to get back in the game after that, and they finished off with the third. But yeah, I think it's more of how well City are doing at the minute. Arsenal now, with obviously dropping points, would be looking over the shoulder and seeing City with Pep Guardiola behind you. Then I think that Arsenal will be a little bit nervous seeing the way City are playing.
Just a word on Jeremy Doku, Wayne. He's a player. I think he's made 100 appearances for City now, hasn't he? And he's a player that on his day looks absolutely unplayable. What did you make of his goal? And what are you laughing at?
Do you know why I find it funny? There's a trend online that Doku only does well against defenders that are over 30. So once a defender's over 30, they hate to see Jeremy Doku. It's a whole trend online. So it's interesting that today it was Conor Bradley, a quite young defender, and he was running rings around him. Maybe the fact that Mo Salah wasn't helping had something to do with that. But yeah.
I thought my camera zoomed in on me or something, and that was the reason you were laughing. What did you make of that, Wayne? And the fact that obviously Doku was brilliant, but
he's found more consistency, isn't he, this season? I think in previous seasons he's been in and out and can have unbelievable games and have some bad games as well. But I think he's consistent with his performances, and when he's like he was today, it's almost impossible for anyone to defend 1v1 against a player like Doku. It's very difficult if he's on it. So I fell for Conor Bradley today with him.
With players like Doku, I think, isn't it wonderful just watching what they can do with the ball? But sometimes you're just like, we just need the end product. Like, where's the final ball, or where's the shot that can cause some problems? And I think with Doku right now, with games like this, you see he's got it in his locker, and like you said, it's about the consistency. Did you have players that you were playing with that were similar to that when you were playing?
I think you look at Nani. Nani on his day was incredible. Some of the stuff he'd do and goals he'd scored and assists as well. And then some days he'd frustrate you because that when players have got that much ability, and then I had bad games as well, of course did. But I think when players have got so much ability, you try things. Sometimes you give defenders credit as well. Defenders defend well against, and if you deny the space, then it's a lot more difficult for players like that. And that's where I just felt he had a lot of space to get the ball down and get faced up with Conor Bradley, and you asked him for trouble there. And I think we've seen that with Liverpool as well a few times. We've seen it with Chelsea, where Chelsea targeted down the right-hand side of Liverpool, because I don't think, Salah gives you goals, he gives you assists, he's a fantastic player, but he doesn't tend to get back in and help out his fullback a lot. So it wouldn't be surprised if that was something that City worked on.
Were you disappointed? Did you want to see more from Salah in that aspect today, Wayne, in terms of helping Conor Bradley out?
Yeah, listen, I've made this point early on in the season as well, and as a teammate, you could see that Conor Bradley was in trouble. You could see that he was having a difficult afternoon, so you want to go and help your teammate out. So in the big games, in games not so, in the lesser games, if you like, I think you can get away with it. And if you're playing against, you're not playing against Doku every week, and you can get away with it. But in the big games, you'd hope that everyone puts the work into to help your teammates out, because normally that's a big factor in who wins the game. And I think Liverpool and down that right hand side didn't do that well enough today.
Yeah, but if you're the manager and you know your 33-year-old winger hasn't probably got it in his locker anymore to keep tracking back, should you not be making changes sooner rather than later?
Yeah, you can do, but Salah always, I think whatever you say about him, he's one of the best players ever, in my opinion, to play in the Premier League, and he gives you goals. So you want players on the pitch who can score goals as well. So yeah, we had it with Ronaldo, this very similar at times, and when you've got a player who, consistently over a period of time can get you the goals and the numbers that Salah does, and what Ronaldo did for us, then. But what we done well is we covered it, and we all got back into a shape and accepted Ronaldo worked hard. I'm not saying he didn't, but we accepted we're going to have to do a little bit more work, and he'll go and do his bits of magic to win his game. So I don't think Liverpool had that balance there today.
Where does this leave the title race, do you think, then? Because they're down to 8th now, which is remarkable given the start they had. I know they weren't playing that well, but they were getting the results. They've got 18 points from 11 games. Are they still in it, Wayne?
I think it'd be difficult to think with Arsenal's form, and obviously I know they dropped points yesterday, but with Arsenal's form and Man City now coming into a great run of form, I think it'll be difficult. But it's still early in the season, so you never know. I just think with Arsenal and City, they're obviously the two favourites. I think Arsenal will be a little bit nervous, as I said before, with City coming up, and they'll be thinking not again to get the title pitched off them again. But I think that's where it'll be one of them two. I still probably edge Arsenal.
I think you can never rule out Man City. Yeah, I think they only start getting going after Christmas as well. So it's going to be a bit of a difficult one. But on the plus side, Man United...
I knew you were going to go there.
I
knew one of you would go there. And I was hedging my bet that it would be UK. Go on, anything more to add? I thought you might want to gloat a bit more there, Kay, to be honest.
I was waiting for him to finish it off. But no, yeah. I think before the game, if you would have said United would come away with a point, then you'd probably take it. But I just think taking the lead and then conceding the 2 goals like they did... you just want them to hold on and try and see the game out, but show really good character to come back and get a point in the end. So I think overall, if you just isolate the result, it's a good point.
Go on, Kay. I can't believe that was where your parting gift was on Man United. I thought you were going to wax lyrical more.
I think, like I said, Man City, you can never rule them out. I think with Pep Guardiola at the helm, you can just see something. He's always brewing. Like he's always got his mind on like 2 or 3 games ahead, and I think it's hard for anybody to go up against Manchester City. That's why it makes a win over them even more sweet. And I think Arsenal are in a great position, but we saw yesterday with like the Sunderland game, you can play against Arsenal. You can play against Arsenal, and you can make it difficult for them. And I think it's. Now that we've seen how Sunderland played against them, I think it almost provides like a blueprint for other teams in the league to go, listen, if you get in their faces, if you crowd the box, if you try and make life hard for them, you can score against them and you can win games or you can get a result against them. And I feel like with Man City, they have a lot more options at their disposal. They can play in a few different ways, whereas I think with Arsenal... I don't know if they're as adaptable as City are. So I think, look, it is Arsenal's to lose, but do not rule out Manchester City at all.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think I have Arsenal slight favourites, but I think what you're talking about Sunderland there is it's no fluke where they are in the league, because the opposite of what I was talking about at Liverpool is the Liverpool have got obviously better players and more ability in the squad, but what Sunderland have is a work rate, a determination. Everyone pulling for each other, and if someone's not in position, someone will cover for them, and that's why they've picked up as many points as they have this season. So, and that's sometimes that's what you need. You need that you call them the basics of the game of working hard and running for your teammate and running for the team. But if you do that, you can be successful. You can, and then it becomes about the players with players' ability and letting the forward lads go and get on the ball and be creative and try and score goals. But you need that foundation of everyone getting behind the ball, and Sunderland have done that brilliant.
What about Granit Xhaka? What a signing he's been. Obviously, seen him in the Premier League before, but Kay, I mean, you puffed your cheeks out then. He's looked a brilliant bit of business. One of the signings of the summer, arguably.
It's amazing. I think when I think people underestimate how important the midfield is, and especially with a player like him, he's got bags of experience. I know at Arsenal the relationship got a bit sour at times, but the guy's played in other European clubs. He won the league with Leverkusen. So, this is a player that's got bags of experience, and he's got leadership skills in abundance. And I think that leadership and just that bit of experience where he can be calm on the ball and he can sort of be that cool head with a lot of younger players around him as well can really, really help a team like Sunderland to push on. And he's been fantastic.
He has. I think he's never been the quickest anyway, Xhaka, but I think when you're talking about his experience there, knowing when to slow the game down, know if the team needs a breather, and you're not always trying to go forward and score goals. You can slow it down and keep the ball for a bit. He brings that, and positionally he picks up some really good positions. And I think when he had the situation with Arsenal, when he fell out with the fans and whatever, I think it showed his character, and to go and play for Arsenal again. I think he was captain for Arsenal after that as well. So to get through that and then go and perform for Arsenal, and then obviously at Leverkusen to go and, obviously we're just in, but at Leverkusen, but to go and be part of a team which beat Bayern Munich to the league title. I think it was the first time for 10 years or something like that, 11 years, something like that. I think it was that Bayern Munich didn't win it. He's shown what a good player he is, and coming to the Premier League, you wonder can he do it? Obviously with a promoted team as well coming up, what impact can he have? And he's been probably the sign of the season. I think he's been brilliant.
I actually interviewed him. You mentioned there, Wayne, that obviously he had that awful thing with the fans where he reacted and then it felt like he was on his way out. I interviewed him when he was back in the team, and I remember going to that interview and not really knowing what to expect and just expecting him to be kind of just a fiery, kind of opinionated bloke. But he was actually like a really deep thinker, and he seemed like it's easy for me to say this, I probably wouldn't say if it was horrible, but he was just a really nice guy. And I think that whole Arsenal, the way that happened, kind of affected him and almost like reignited another fire in him and has given him like a whole nother chapter and a purpose. And I feel like probably coming back to the Premier League, I don't know if you agree, Wayne, he maybe had a bit of a point to prove. Coming to Sunderland, a newly promoted club, he probably wanted to show, look, I'm still a top player and I can really help this team, and that's what he's doing.
It's a brave move as well, him to go to. Obviously, Sunderland's a fantastic football club, but to go to a promoted team who everyone tipped to get relegated and be up for that fight, I think you've got to give him a lot of credit for that. And he's gone in. The fans seem to love him in there as well. Obviously, they will with his performances, but again, it's that desire and work and influence he can have on the other players, which you can see he's doing that. So. He's been incredible. I didn't think he'd have a season like he's having so far.
Yeah, but do you know what else I love? The fact that he's come in straight away and he's been given the captain's armband and he's been able to act on it, and he's been able to lead by example. I just think to go into a new team as well, where you probably don't know your teammates and stuff as well, and to go in there with the captain's armband and be able to garner that respect from your peers, it must say something about him, doesn't it?
Yeah, and Sunderland have got a very young squad as well, so I think having he'd almost be like a father figure, and he'll be a big help for the coach as well to, he'll be, the in-between man as captain. Of course, you are that anyway, but I think with a lot of Sunderland players, first time playing the Premier League, young players as well, and he made a lot of signings in the summer. He'll be a massive help for the manager with them players for sure, using his experience.
What's the biggest thing you could do as a captain when those younger players are around you? Because you were a captain with a lot of younger players around you as well. What was it that you could pass on to them that could make them better players, or perhaps get you the win on that game?
Yeah, I think decision making, game management. As I said before, about knowing when to slow the game down when you need to, and your decision making on the pitch, and if you're winning last 5 minutes, your fullbacks staying back and stuff like that, and you can organise that on the pitch. You're a coach on the pitch basically, and with young players, what you get is they want to go all the time, and they want to, even when you're winning late on by 1 goal, the fullbacks want to still go forwards and stuff. So you use your experience and your brain and communication, talking to them, and so yeah, I'm sure he'll be doing all that. So he's probably is the best sign in the summer for sure.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Because I think Sunderland's form and teams like Sunderland doing well has led to a few people kind of questioning maybe the quality of the league. I know Jamie Carragher wrote an article this week suggesting there's been a bit of a regression in the Premier League. Do you agree with that, Wayne?
I know what Carragher's saying, but I think it's refreshing. I think we're seeing, we're not seeing goalkeepers having, 100 touches the ball a game and stuff all the time now, and set pieces are so important. Always have been really important in the game, and long throws are back in favour as well. And so I actually enjoy it. I think I like it when it's long throw and people are getting people in the box and set plays and stuff. And I want to see more runs in behind. I still don't think players run in behind enough, but I'm enjoying it.
Do you know what I do think the quality of the game has regressed, but not for the reasons Jamie Carragher said. I think tactics in football are very cyclical. Like what's fashionable now probably won't be fashionable in about 2 or 3 years, but then like 10 years from now, people are going to be doing long throws and whatever again. But I think what you've got is, and I've probably said it on here before, where I feel like the floor of teams has raised. So you've got like a lot of players that have got great technical ability and they're great athletes, but I think the game sort of lost a lot of mavericks and a lot of players at the top quality, where there were times where, especially when you were playing, Wayne, you would look at like teams across Europe and you could name like 2 or 3, maybe 4 players in each side, and you were like, bloody hell, like they're incredible. Whereas I think like we've sort of lost that at the moment as well. But I think the tactics thing, just because people aren't playing tiki-taka anymore in possession football, that doesn't mean that the league's regressed.
Yeah, no, I think it's, I know what you're saying there, and the game has gone more positional, and players staying in the positions, and especially in the top end of the pitch, where you think of like Zola and Bergkamp and players of this quality, and coming deep, getting on the ball, running in behind, creating. You had individual players who you go right the way through, Henry, Drogba, Steven Gerrard when he went forward and stuff. You had players who played off the cuff a little bit more, where I think now it's all patterns of play, and it's a bit more structured, which probably takes away that freedom for the attacking players as what we used to have.
Is it as fun though? I think I prefer it at the moment. I like the unpredictability of games, and isn't it nice to, like, we've got this amazing title race and Arsenal are doing really well and they're going to Sunderland. Like in previous years, they go to a promoted club and you'd be like, no disrespect to the promoted clubs, but they were getting relegated. You just expect them to go and get 3 points, whereas now we know that's going to be a proper game. Do you know what I mean, Kay? As a fan, do you not like that?
I don't think I necessarily agree, because I think we've had bogey teams in every era. You used to turn up to Sam Allardyce's Bolton, and it used to be hard to go.
No, but I mean in recent years, in the last few years, like teams are going to Man City and getting spanked.
Yeah, I mean
Liverpool did today.
Yeah, I think yeah, in recent years you're probably quite right, but I don't think the games are as interesting to watch. I think there's a lot of fans out there that struggle to watch a lot of games 90 minutes throughout without getting bored or going on their phone while the game's on, because I think a lot of the football isn't as fun to watch anymore. Sometimes when things are too structured and too rigid, it I know it's probably more efficient, but efficient doesn't necessarily mean entertaining.
I think this season, what I like about the season is normally the three teams who come up and, you know what's been happening, have been going back down, and now you've got teams, you know, near the bottom of the table who've been, you know, established Premier League clubs for a while. Think, you know, we could go here. So I think it's just that not knowing who's going to get relegated, and obviously you've got Arsenal, City, obviously probably the two favourites, but you've still got Liverpool as champions. You've got Chelsea in there as well, and Man United coming back as well. So you don't know for that race for Europe. You don't know where teams going to finish, and I think has been a bit predictable over the last few years. But anyone could finish anywhere, so I think that makes it more enjoyable.
What did you make, by the way, Wayne, before we move on, of Sunderland bringing the advertising hoardings closer to the pitch so that Arsenal had less space for the long throws? Did you like that?
Yeah, there's been things in the past which I've seen. I think Bolton, I think it might have been Gary Megson, narrowed the pitch because they had good long throws and he wanted to get the further. And so I think teams have tried different things, and so yeah, I think if that gives you an advantage, then why not?
I love that. I love that sort of stuff. Make the grass longer on their side. All of that sort of stuff.
Well, I seen it today. I was watching one of the games today, and at half time, and the sprinklers were on, but the sprinklers were only on one side of the pitch. So it was for the home team to the ends they were attacking.
Brilliant.
They wet the pitch, but the other end they didn't, and it obviously will have been a bit sticky and drier. So yeah, it's there's little things which teams, you know, do to try and give themselves an advantage.
I knew Kay would like that.
Used to go in the dressing room at Tottenham and Chelsea, and it was absolutely roasting. I mean, like, you were dripping with sweat
Yes.
every time you went there. So I'm sure, and then Anfield was freezing. So I'm sure that went by accident.
Wayne, did you never do anything like that as a manager? Did you not go out and go, listen, lads, today I want you to stop their catering by half an hour or something? Like, was there nothing that you did to try and put other teams off?
No, there was not really. I think there was teams we went to, and they make things awkward for you as a team and whatever. So, and I used to always think, you know, when they come and play against you, we should do the same. But I think you've just got to keep your dignity and do things right, and hope that other clubs do the same.
You're too humble, man. You need me as your assistant. I'll go in there and do all of that stuff for you.
I know.
God, imagine that. Gosh. I'm not sure that's the way forward. Just stick to the podcasting. Let's talk about Man United then. They've already had a mention, as I knew they would. What did you make of the result against Spurs, Wayne? Because it kept the unbeaten run going, even if it wasn't a win.
Yeah, no, it's important, you know, if you to try and get something out of each game. So I think a little bit disappointed with going 1-0 up and then conceding the 2 goals. But again, I think it showed really good character to come back, and good header from De Ligt at the end to get the point out of the game. And as I said before, if you would have said going to Tottenham, I know Tottenham haven't been great at home this season, but if you would, I think it's always a difficult place to go, Tottenham. So if you'd have said before the game you get a point, I probably would have took it. So yeah, it was good to keep the unbeaten run going into the international break, and it was just nice at one point throughout the day yesterday. You're looking at the table and seeing in second place. Yeah, so and I think that's the next obstacle as well for the players to overcome. You know, because a lot of them players, I don't know if any of them have. I know they've won trophies, but you know, winning the Premier League and being up high up in the league, it's not easy to get there and stay there. So I think that's the next obstacle now. You know, I think it's a couple of times they've touched second this season, and during the game and let it sleep. So the players will know they would have been in second place because they kicked off early. So that's the next step now to you know, go and do it, get there, stay in that position, and then try and move on from there. But yeah, I think overall I probably would have taken a point before.
I think what you're saying there is key. It's sort of like, when I was watching it, I was like, let's just see this result out, like grind out the 1-0.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? And I think that's so important to be able to do. I mean, we've spoken about it on here with other teams and said it's a sign of champions when they can grind out 1-0 results. But it's a bit cliche, but I think games like yesterday show you that, you know, it was boring as hell. But if you can get boring 1-0 wins, it gets you higher up in the league.
No win is a boring game. Should you win the game?
Yeah, no, when you're in it, of course.
Yeah.
But like from a fan's perspective, like but I want to see more of those 1-0 wins. I mean, I think it was interesting yesterday, some of the substitutions. Once Casemiro went off, it just started falling apart for United and stuff. And then obviously with Sesko going off injured and us going down to 10 men, it sort of made it a bit harder. And that's why we were probably susceptible to a lot more pressure. But I think De Ligt was fantastic as well for him to get that as well. But yeah, I think sometimes Amorim's substitutions baffle me. And I thought yesterday, yeah, who cares? Let Casemiro see the game out and give him a rest next week if need be.
Well, he hasn't got a game next week, has he? It's international break, so
yeah,
unless he was physically really tired or had a knock, we don't know. But yeah, he probably should have kept him on. But and as a manager, when you're making changes, you hope they pay off, because obviously when you do, it's great, and you know everyone turns around. Oh, that was a great decision, and but when sometimes they don't, and so it's a big thing. Ollie Gunnar Solskjaer, I used to speak to Ollie about it, and ask him, like, when he was on the bench, what did he used to do, and he used to say he used to keep himself really engaged and look at the forwards and the defenders he's playing against and see where the space is and see if he can occupy that when he comes on the pitch. So I think when the player's on the bench, you have to make sure you're ready and make sure you warm up properly, and so it's so difficult as an attacking player. You're coming onto the pitch and trying to, whether you're chasing a goal or you're coming on to being asked to help to defend from the front to keep the 1-0 win. To get your breathing going, the first 5 minutes you can't breathe. You're making long sprints, and it's very difficult to get yourself into the game. So that's why your warm up and your preparation before you come on is really important. And but yeah, as a manager, you're making decisions on what you're seeing on the pitch, and maybe your player's not having a good game, and you feel you're bringing someone in to try and improve that. But sometimes it doesn't always pay off. So I think. Yeah, it's always a gamble when you change your team, because you don't know if it's going to work or not.
Okay, we're running out of time, but Wayne, you went to Everton's new stadium to watch a game for the first time this weekend. What did you make of it?
Yeah, no, brilliant. I've been to the stadium a few times. I went at the end of last season, watched the under-18 against Bolton, and then I went and just done a tour as well at the end of last season. But yeah, I took my lad the game yesterday, and loved it. Obviously, great win. I thought Everton played really well. Jack Grealish was brilliant. Again, I thought, and the atmosphere was really good, and sat next to Peter Reid, which is always fun with Reedy. So no, great win, needed win, I think, as well. So, but the stadium's incredible. What they've done with the stadium, and I think the worry when you go into a new stadium is, can you get the atmosphere in there? But the atmosphere was brilliant. So no, loved it.
Some other news that's coming out that's kind of, it's not football related at all, is it? The jungle lineup's been announced. Wayne, you were linked, but unfortunately we're stuck with you. You're not going into the jungle, are you? But Angry Ginge is, and I know you're friends with him. How do you think he's going to get on?
Has it been announced?
Well, it's heavily linked. Like
it's leaked, isn't it?
Yeah, the newspapers. We have no official confirmation, but if in a hypothetical world, it strongly sounds like he is going into the jungle. How do you think he'd do?
Well, I spoke to him last night, and he was still in England, so I don't know who he is. But no, Ginger's a great lad, and I've seen who's linked as well. So no, if he is in it, I'm sure he'll be really entertaining.
Diplomatic answer there from Wayne.
Looks like a good lineup.
If he's in it and H is in it as well, I'm gutted that I didn't go in, because I think the three of us could have been in real fun in there.
But you wouldn't go in it, would you? You've said before you wouldn't want to.
I'd be alright with the food situation and stuff like that, but I get bored, and some of the challenges I had, the snakes, and there was one a few years ago with the big ostrich. I don't know. Wouldn't like that.
You've mentioned that one before. I don't remember that one. The ostrich.
Yeah, I
what was
love the
that?
show, and obviously Colleen was in it last year, and maybe at some point, but not this year, unfortunately.
Yeah, and if only you weren't at Plymouth, you'd have got a trip to Australia in the swanky hotel to go out there and meet her, wouldn't you?
Yeah, so nearly just after.
Yeah,
I got sacked.
wrong year. We'll be back again on Friday with another episode. A reminder, you can watch the Wayne Rooney Show on the BBC Sport YouTube and BBC iPlayer, or listen on BBC Sounds. Have a great week, everyone.